An affair, a TikTok star, and a $1.75 million verdict that nearly ended with a fight outside the Durham County Courthouse. That was not the fight. That was the joy inside the courtroom. We're talking about the case of North Carolina TikToker Brene.
They were cheering about the verdict?
She was sued by her now husband's ex-wife. Tonight, a jury found Montague liable for destroying the couple's marriage. WR's Eric Miller was in court and has the story.
That's the sound of a $1.75 million cheer, coming just moments after court was adjourned. Akira Montague embraced her attorney, Robinetta Jones, as dozens of supporters yelled from the sidelines.
She has received justice from losing her husband and the father of her children.
So just so you guys know, in some states, this is in North Carolina, happens to be one of them. If you take somebody's spouse, it don't matter if you take somebody's husband, take somebody's wife. If you take somebody's spouse, you have an affair with someone's spouse that ultimately leads to them leaving them and y'all getting together, they can sue you for alienation of affection. And as you can see, they can win. So be careful out there, y'all.
Akira Montague's lawsuit, filed in Durham County Court, accuses Brene Montague, an influencer with nearly 3 million followers on TikTok, of seducing and having an affair with her then husband, Tim. That affair then turning to marriage when Brene and Tim wed. In the suit, Akira Montague claimed Brene used her online influence as a weapon. The affair also caused damage to her health and deprived her kids of a two-parent household.
Oh, that all sounds so bad. Oh, that sounds so bad. She says the woman used her large following, her influence. She weaponized it. And the stress of all this, I take it, had caused her health problems, which I can kind of see that because it was a bit messy. And she like, that woman deprived my children of a two-parent household. And let's just keep it a buck here. In the Black community, we don't need less of those. So it's looking pretty bad.
And it was nothing but lies.
Brene Montague, who represented herself in court, slammed the verdict, saying Akira Montague knew her marriage was over and allowed the affair.
Don't represent yourself in court. Do not. He who represents himself in court has a fool for a client. All right. I've heard this over and over and over, and I've seen many examples of it. Do not represent yourself. You are going to end up owing $1.75 million if you do.
She gave her consent. She said it was okay because she knew her marriage was over with and it was done.
But the jury...
Nah. I don't believe that for a second. She gave her consent because she knew it was over. Listen, if there's one thing I know about women, women can be very, vengeful. And even if the relationship is on the rocks, a woman is not just going to let some other chick slide in, take her husband, and be on some, oh, it's over, it's okay, I give you my consent. That sounds insane. Like, I as a man would never believe that. So I know women ain't gonna believe that. I mean, if it is a woman who will believe that, it's got to be one of her fans, because, these people, they get big followings. They develop kind of a weird parasocial following that just defend everything they do, regardless of how diabolical. Case in point, the woman Tea Time. She's got fans crashing out, defending her and attacking anybody who's critical of the fact that she was streaming and driving. Like, oh, well, she's not the only one who does it. Okay, does that change the fact that her doing it was stupid?
Didn't agree.
That's
awarding
that's parasocial fans, though, man.
$1.75 million after more than 700 pieces of evidence were presented in court, including some of Brene's own TikToks and texts.
That says that my client was telling the truth.
The case hinged on two rarely used laws, including alienation of affection.
It can be very hard to prove, and the reason is because it's hard to find a point in a relationship where the relationship necessarily started to go bad.
But in these videos and in the court testimony, the jury found that point, leaving Brene Montague with a hefty bill and no answer on how she'll pay.
I don't know, but she'll probably never see it.
Listen, there's 8 billion people on this planet. Go find somebody that's not attached to somebody. That's the best advice that I can give. Especially if you live in one of these states where they can sue you. Like, if that don't make you scared to mess around with someone that's married, I don't know what will. I don't think they can necessarily sue you if they're not married, but clearly if they are married, they can definitely sue you and they can win. That one guy, I believe he was an attorney, he said that it's something that can be difficult to prove, yet here we are. So because she was so messy, documenting everything, putting everything online, because that's what these women that are so hungry for attention do. They have to put everything online. Every step of the way has to become content. She basically made it easy for them to pinpoint when the relationship starts going bad. Okay, here he is, a married man, and he's starting to show up online in all these TikTok videos with this other woman who's not his wife. And they're looking a little too friendly, a little too cozy. So this here looks like the point where things may have went left.
Oh, good evening to you again, Lauren. So I spoke with the attorney for Akira Montague. She filed this case in a Durham County courtroom just last year. Her attorney and I, we talked at great length, and she tells me this is the third highest settlement in an alienation of affection case that the state has seen since 1895. These are photos shot.
Man, listen, this chick here, I don't know who she is. I'd never heard of this woman before this situation, but I mean, there's just a level of self-absorbedness, if you will, that just comes along with this. Like you slide in, you alienate the man from his family. Now, the man is not a victim here. He grown as hell. He made his own choices. I'm just focusing on the part that she played. I'm not saying he's innocent. But you slide in, you alienate a man from his family. You know his situation. You know he's got a wife. You know he's got kids. You pull him away from that or entice him to come away from that, which, yeah, I'm not going to comment on her physical. I've seen the wife, and I don't know what's going on here. That's the nicest way I could put it. I've seen the wife and I've seen her. I don't know why a man would leave the woman that he was married to and then marry this woman. Maybe she's nicer to him than the wife. I don't know. I'm not going to try to vilify the wife. But to then turn around and marry that dude, like you trying to step into her shoes, like you trying to erase her out, replace her. It's just, I don't know, man. It's a arrogance about that that just, it can make a person very unlikable. So I understand why when the verdict was read, there were so many people that were in there cheering, because she probably made a lot of enemies with the way she was moving.
By the News and Observer from the trial involving a wildly popular Wake County viral TikToker facing civil allegations of alienation of affection and criminal.
See, that's his wife there. You know, I mean, I know she kind of like crunching up her face or whatever, but I've seen other pictures of her. His wife, she's cute. So I don't know. I really don't know what happened here, how we go from this wife to the other wife. Like, I guess only he could tell us, and he probably never will.
Conversation for allegedly having an affair with a married man.
And this is the husband here. You know, he's like, you know, average Joe extreme. You know, the dude, you could tell he doesn't really go to the gym. You know, he's not really going for any runs. He's not really watching what he eats. You know, he's got the whole twisty hair. You know, this is the very guy you would see every day and look right through. And I don't mean that to be disrespectful. I'm just keeping it a buck. Like, women see a dude that looks like this, or don't, honestly. You'll get what I'm saying in a second. They see a guy like this and they look right through him. Right? That's how average this guy is. So why she just had to have this particular guy to where she put herself in a situation to be sued, to have him. I don't get it, man. I just don't get it.
In her 14-page civil complaint filed last year, Akira Montague of Durham claimed TikTok star Brene Kennard not only had an affair with her husband, Tim Montague, but she flaunted that affair all over social media to Kennard's millions of followers, accusing her of verbally flirting and having a sexual affair with Montague's husband, among other complaints. I spoke with attorney Robinetta Jones, who represented Akira Montague, about the details of the complaints that were alleged.
So when you are thinking about alienation of affection, you have to think about the humiliation that the spouse went through. Ms. Kennard flaunted her relationship with a married man, and of course it went viral, and my client was humiliated as a result of that.
Jones says her client is happy with Monday's outcome with the jury.
The fact that it was so public online, I believe, contributed greatly to not only why she won this case, but why it was so much.
Deciding to pay her $1.75 million and is still processing tonight.
When you finally are able to tell your truth, she felt a sense of relief.
In the suit, Akira Montague also accusing Kennard of making social media posts, alluding to how she cannot wait to become Mrs. Montague. Akira Montague also alleged that Kennard, who was also married at the time to Tim Montague's first cousin, knew of her marriage.
All right, listen. Nobody can twist a knife quite like a woman, man. Like, I got to give y'all credit. Like, y'all don't just stab. Y'all twist the knife. Y'all stab again and stir it up in there real good. Like, really, nobody can twist the knife quite like a woman. She knows exactly what she doing. She with the man that was married to someone else, and she talking about how she can't wait to be the next Mrs. Montague. Oh my God. And what about this part? The fact that she was married to her now husband. She was married to his cousin, his first cousin. How crazy is that, man? Like, this is just really diabolical behavior. It's really messy. And yeah, when you acting like this, you gonna make a lot of enemies. These be the very types that they move like this and they wonder why they got enemies. They move like this and they expect everybody to just be okay with it. They call anyone that has any sort of objection to the way they moving just haters, or they just jealous of me and whatnot. It's like, no, nobody's jealous of you. Like, you really are just a disgusting human being. Like, no one is jealous of you. How do you, and I'm talking about the husband here in this case, how do you as a man climb on top of your cousin's ex-wife? Like, what? He was climbing on top of her and now you climbing on top of her. Like, that's just really crazy to me. How does that affect family events from this point forward? You know, y'all go out to different family events, the family barbecue, whatever, like, and you rolling up with her. And it just makes everything awkward because everybody know the people y'all were with before. And now y'all together, and the people that y'all with before, they might show up to the barbecue. I think about that sort of stuff, but apparently they don't. And that's what separates these type of people from the rest. These type of people, they're so absorbed. They don't care about who they affect. They just want what they want, and they don't care whose backs they have to step on to get it. And that's why she hit with this $1.75 million payout,
which is necessary to prove an alienation of affection lawsuits.
We were able to prove that they had a loving relationship. They were able to take trips together, spend time together, and still make sure they held themselves out to be husband and wife. Also, text messages helped a lot as well.
Kennard filed a motion to dismiss, arguing the evidence used against her was private and unlawfully obtained. The judge denying that request. Jones says her client represents other women who have been in similar situations with their partner.
She has a voice for women that have been hurt by friends and by their loved one. So a lot of people say that they can recognize themselves in my client.
I believe it.
And North Carolina is one of 7 states in the country that has an alienation of affection clause on their legislative body there. But we do know that Kennard, I reached out to her today for comment. She declined to comment. However, in court, she denied all of the allegations that were made against her. We're live in downtown Raleigh tonight. Dwan Hogard, ABC 11, Eyewitness News.
Oh, that's a mess, man. I see why this whole thing was viral. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm gonna holler at y'all soon. Peace.